Alright, tonight we're going to talk about two-way tables, which is another way to organize data. Before we do that, we need to look at the two different types of data, and the two different types of data are numerical and categorical. Numerical data are just observations that can be measured, and we represent numerical data using scatter plots or line graphs. And categorical data are observations that can be sorted into groups. And we represent categorical data using tables, bar graphs, and pie graphs. So what is a two-way table? A two-way table is just one way to organize categorical data. So for example, the table is a two-way table that organizes hair color and gender. So we're looking at how many boys have a certain hair color and how many girls have a certain hair color. When we work with two-way tables, we work with frequency and relative frequency. Frequency is just how often something occurs, and relative frequency is the percent that a variable happens given a certain outcome. So for example, what's the percent of boys who have blonde hair? That's a relative frequency. A frequency would be how many boys have blonde hair. To find relative frequency, we do how often the variable happens over the total number of outcomes. So in a two-way table, you're usually going to be given the frequency, and we want to find the relative frequency for some condition. So for example, we want to find the percent of boys who have black hair. So to find that, we need to find the number of boys with black hair and the total number of boys. So to find the boys with black hair, we look at black, and we look under the column for boys, and we get 4, and the total number of boys is the total number of all the boys that were surveyed. So we do 4 plus 4 plus 10 plus 2, which gives us 20. So 4 boys have black hair out of 20 boys. So the percent is going to be, first we're going to find the fraction, and then we're going to do the percent. So the fraction would be boys with black hair over total number of boys. So that would be 4 out of 20, which is equal to 1/5, which is equal to 20%. Example 2, you want to find the percent of people who have blonde hair. So to find that percent, we need to find the number of people with blonde hair. So how many girls had blonde hair plus how many boys had blonde hair. We need to find the total population, which is the total number of boys plus the total number of girls. So the total number of people who had blonde hair is 4 for the boys and 6 for the girls. So a total number of 10 people had blonde hair. And then the total population is going to be the number of girls and the number of boys. There's 20 girls and 20 boys, so there's 40 in the total population. So our percent is going to be total blonde over total population, which is 10 over 40, which is equal to 1/4, which is equal to 25%. So 25% of the population had blonde hair. When we work with two-way tables, you're going to be asked to either find the percent of a subset of the population with a specific category or the percent of the total population with a specific category. And if you're asked to find the percent of a subset of the population with a specific category, you find the number of that subset and the number of the total and put the subset over the total and turn it into a percent. If you're asked to find the percent of the total population with a specific category, you find the total in that population with the specific category, and you find the total number of the population, and do total number with the category over the total number of the population, and turn it into a percent. So two-way tables, you're just looking at how often something happens over the total number in some certain condition. That's all you're doing.